Hey guys, how's it going? It's 8-Bit Eric. Welcome back to the channel. And Phil Spencer has been an open book on a lot of things lately. He's been addressing all sorts of questions and issues and concerns for the Xbox community, from the ZeniMax acquisition where they just gobbled up id Software, Bethesda, Obsidian, and quite a few franchises from Doom, Wolfenstein, Elder Scrolls, Fallout, just to name a few. And the concern with that was, are these games going to become Xbox exclusive in the future? He's addressed some of those concerns, kind of. And then he also talked about Nintendo and Microsoft's collaboration with Nintendo. And we've seen a lot of good stuff come out of it. Minecraft Steve in Smash, Banjo in Smash. We've seen the Ori games come to Nintendo Switch. And then there's a lot of stuff out there. Now he's addressing people showing concern whether are we going to get some of these dormant franchises, some of these games that they hold the rights to, like Banjo-Conker, games like that. And he's addressing this in an interview with Kotatku. Seems like he's told a lot to Kotatku as of late. It's an interesting read that we're going to talk about here from PCGamesN.com. So if you guys aren't subscribed yet, if this is your first time to the channel, why don't you click the red subscription button down below, enable your bell notifications so you do not miss when I upload. Let's go ahead and talk about this. Xbox chief knows you want Banjo-Kazooie, Crimson Skies, and Blink's sequels. Xbox Game Studios has a massive library of beloved game franchises to work with, and the options continue to grow with each additional developer Microsoft gobbles up. And they definitely have gobbled up a lot. I mean, that ZeniMax acquisition alone put them like over, 20 game developer studios alone underneath the Xbox banner. They're going nuts. It says, yes, Xbox chief Phil Spencer knows you want revivals of each and every one of your childhood favorites, including platform games from Banjo to Blinks. And yeah, almost every stream I hear from people like, oh man, Microsoft needs to make a new Banjo. Microsoft needs to bring back Banjo. Banjo's a very beloved character that people want games for. So here's a quote that Phil Spencer said, and we're going to read this, and we're going to give our thoughts about it. So it says, I leave it up to the studios in terms of the things that they want to go work on. Spencer tells Kotaku after the site asked about Rare's dormant characters, like Banjo-Kazooie and Conker. And again, Banjo and Conker, almost all the time I have a chance to talk to people, even if it's not a Microsoft-related stream or Microsoft-related video that I make, there's people that are just constantly asking for Banjo or Conker. They're like, give us a Banjo or a Conker game. Please, Microsoft, use some of these rare franchises that you have not touched in ages. And I'm like, why aren't they doing it? They're literally sitting on money here. So looking at right here, he says he leaves it up to the studios in terms of the things that they want to work on. So is that passing the buck on to the Xbox Game Studios? Couldn't Microsoft just be like, yo, put one on. Put a game. Make a game. So he says, I have a lot of respect for Rare and the work that they do. They do like building new things, and they've been successful with Sea of Thieves. I think they're really excited about Everwild. So he's saying that Rare likes to make new things, that they don't like to stick to the past, which is fair enough. There are a lot of game developers out there that just stick to one or two things and just milk it, and next thing you know, we got like 20 different versions of that game. But if it sounds like hotcakes, if that's in demand, if people want that franchise, why are you sitting on money? Sea of Thieves is doing successful, I will say that. Everwild looks amazing, but I mean, come on. So his Rare in particular has taken the chance to work with an outside studio on one of its beloved IPs, and this is the game that just came out recently. And Spencer acknowledges that the response to Battletoads was nice, and I think Delilah did a good job with the game, so I think it's just always a balance. So yeah, Battletoads did come out. In my opinion, it was okay. For waiting for so long, the hype was kind of like, when I finally played it. Overall, it was okay, though. But yeah, at least they did something with a franchise that they haven't used since, like, the 16-bit era? About time that Rareware did something with a franchise that they haven't. So why don't they go ahead and try it again with something else? Spencer says, my inbox is full of let every studio do new intellectual property. And also, why haven't you brought back Crimson Skies and Blinks? So it's like he's getting demand for new IPs and old ones all at the same time. I mean, even if they re-release these games, which I know they have the originals on Game Pass, but if they, did something or remastered it or presented it in a different way or did some kind of spin-off, I think people would be happy with that. As a retro gamer myself, I can understand getting excited, especially when Nintendo brings new games for franchises like Zelda or Metroid or F-Zero and stuff like that. It's kind of like a rock and a hard place when it comes to owning a lot of IPs and stuff. You can only do so many games a year. But with like over 20 game studios, I hope with a new console generation coming out that Microsoft starts to pump a lot of these franchises. A lot of things that people say about Xbox in general is that they don't take advantage of first-party properties, exclusives, and stuff like that. They got the IPs. By God, they just spent $7.5 billion. They have the IPs to take advantage of this. So, to end this article, it says, this all pretty much echoes what Rare itself said earlier this year. The studio is all in on new IP. So Rare just wants to make new games. But at the very least, you can rest assured that the folks at Xbox know the demand's there. So maybe stop emailing Phil about them. Wow. I say the opposite. If you guys want to see Banjo, if you guys want to see stuff like Blinks, if you guys want to see Crimson Skies, bother Xbox. Let your voice be heard. Let them know that you guys want some of these franchises that you loved growing up. I think a lot of people need to take advantage of nostalgia. I mean, I know nostalgia is getting a little bit played out at this point with companies like Nintendo. But if you see how games, when Konami decides to do the right thing, or when Capcom decides to do the right thing, or even Sega or Nintendo, you can see the hype. I mean, look at the response that the Super Mario 35th anniversary is getting for Super Mario 35, for Super Mario 3D All-Stars. People want nostalgia. People want the franchises that they grew up playing. People want to experience that stuff. So a new Banjo-Kazooie, if done right, is money waiting on the table, being left on the table. They know they want that you guys want it. Phil Spencer acknowledged it right here. He says he knows you guys want it, but these studios are committed to making new IP. So who knows what they're going to do. I think they need to take advantage of it and pump out first-party exclusive content. Take advantage of the legacy they own. Make some mascots out of it. Use the IPs. Make merch. Like wouldn't it be cool if there was Banjo-Kazooie merch now? And Conker merch out there? And Battletoads merch? Why isn't Microsoft taking advantage of those characters? Who knows? Anyways, guys, I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions down below. Let me know what you think about this, what Phil Spencer said about knowing that you guys want these properties. Let me know some of the games that Microsoft owns the rights to now that you would like to see them make sequels to. And subscribe if you haven't already, guys. I appreciate y'all watching as always. Thanks a lot. Y'all stay safe.